everybody. Welcome to another Thursday Live edition. Today we're going to talk about self-esteem. It's an extremely important thing. I do want to tell you guys that we've got an enormous storm going on outside. I don't think you can miss it because there's thunder and lightning. So let's hope the electricity stays on here in Africa. I'm just going to talk for 20 minutes or so. I've still got a sore back from the slip disc, so I'm just going to talk and then give everybody a chance to comment, ask questions, get input. And if you are in Facebook, say hi to us. We'll go back to the comments. You can ask questions. And if you are wanting to join the stream, you may have to wait until I'm done. I will check again because I don't want to lose the track of what I'm saying. So I will add you to the stream once I'm finished talking. So if you're sitting there watching this, just be patient. I will add you in just now. So let me do that. So hi there to Paul. Hi Paul, how are you?
Are they finding yourself, Louise?
I'm great. Well, yeah. It's this time of the day when you're supposed to pitch up and have high energy and go like, hi everybody, and I'm tired and I'm sore, but I'm still here because this is such an important message to me. Self-esteem makes an enormous difference in our lives. So I'm just going to, for now, Paul, I'm just going to change the view a little bit, just for a minute, and we'll get back to you just now, okay?
Okay.
Right. Okay, and just mute your mic. So, all right. Now, what I'm going to do, and if you're watching afterwards, still give us some likes and comments and invite your friends over. But all they have to do is go ask that they can join. As long as there's a face and a name to it and it's a real person, you're very welcome to come and get your dose of self-esteem. And we are going to keep on doing self-esteem for a bit. So next week, I'm going to change it up a bit. I want to talk next week about external self-esteem versus real self-esteem, because way too many of us exist on external self-esteem. Then we're going to talk about people-pleasing and boundaries after that, because self-esteem is more important to get first before you can stop this people-pleasing thing effectively. Well, you can stop it, but it's just much harder. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what we have to stop doing if we want to improve our self-esteem. I'm not going to tell you what you have to do to improve your self-esteem. I'm going to tell you what to stop doing and then what to put in the place of it. Okay, it's going to sound simple. It is simple. It's very doable, but it is hard work because you really have to concentrate. Don't try and do everything all at once. But when we're done tonight, and you go through the list, and you have a willingness to start somewhere, you will end up with higher self-esteem on the other side. Now, I'm not going to talk to you about what is in my book. There's a whole chapter here on self-esteem. So it's a chapter on self-esteem. And this chapter of self-esteem, it's one short chapter. It's not very long. This whole chapter is the base of a self-esteem program that I've been running successfully with groups year after year after year. It is the crucial factor in us getting better in all areas of our life. And I know that it's effective because I ask everybody when they start out doing this, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your self-esteem? And most people are between 1 and 3. And when we're done, most people go up between 6, 7, 8. And that is, if you look over your lifespan and how old you are and how many years and months and days there is in, we talk about a huge difference you can make to your life in 3 months and 6 months. It does take commitment, but it's so worth it because it's gonna affect every step of your life afterwards for the better. Okay, so first thing to stop doing, stop looking okay. Looking okay is our survival mechanism. Looking okay, putting in, making sure you look acceptable, act in an acceptable way. Stop looking okay. Stop not being real. Stop not being yourself. The minute you stop doing it, what do you put in the place of it? you start to allow more of you out. And maybe you have to figure out who you are. Maybe you have not been true to yourself all of your life. Maybe you've been trying to fit in so hard and to be acceptable so hard that you stop being you. And when you don't think that you are acceptable, when you have a deep, deep belief that there's something wrong with you, which is why we have bad self-esteem, then we have to start somewhere. Look at our very debilitating way of acting. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. Um, how do we act every day? We're in control, and like we can handle this. Inside, we're trembling, scanning the whole world. How must I be? And what are they thinking about me? And how should I act? And let me check that person to see what they're doing. Which knife and fork are they picking up? That's a simple example, but we do that about so many things in our life. What should I be doing? Instead of getting this inner knowing from, I'm okay. This is me. Hello world, see me. This is me. This is all of me. And I think I'm awesome. And I'd love for you to think the same, but if you don't, I don't care. That is where you go to when you stop trying to be okay. You've got to start with that. Stop trying to be okay. Okay. Now the other one, which is like this close to it, is stop trying to be bulletproof. Bulletproof, don't show my hurt, don't show my disappointment, don't show that I'm scared of something. Don't ask for help because I'm going to be judged. Don't go look for help. Just look bulletproof. Don't show what just happened. Now, it really doesn't get you anything. What it does is it alienates people from you. And instead of you getting the respect and love that you want, it's very hard to give that to you because the real you is not showing. There's a version of you showing that is an alienating version. I don't have to help this person when they can do everything by themselves. I don't have to support this person. This person is completely in control of their life. I don't have to approach this person. I'm just going to be rebuffed. So stop being bulletproof. Allow your feelings. Okay. Here's a little problem. You are very often not going to know what your feelings are. You're just going to say, yeah, reaction, anger, or withdrawal. And behind that is sitting a fear. And it's a fear of judgment, a fear of rejection. And when you start getting access to your fear, and we've talked about triggers before, we've had long discussions about triggers before. And the minute when you start noticing that you're being triggered because you have a fear, and that fear is a hurt, and you can stop yourself and say, I don't have to react. I can actually show my fear. I can show my hurt. And it's not like this. It's not, you're a mean person because you hurt me. It's not that. It is, I took your words very personally and therefore I feel very hurt at this moment. That's healthy. It's a trick to start talking like that and to start thinking like that. But that's what you are aiming for. You are aiming for a time in your life when you can say, not, I'm here, I'm vulnerable, I'm going to show you how I feel, but I'm going to judge you and blame you. You did something just now and you hurt me. No. I took that thing that you said personally, and therefore I'm hurt. It's my business. I'm going to work through a way that I don't feel hurt about it, but in future I would appreciate it greatly if you can use less hurtful words. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's bulletproof. Show up and keep growing in yourself until you can identify what was this exact fear or hurt that made me react, because it was me who was reacting and not the other person. But let me not be scared of saying to somebody else, I miss you, or I'm needing companionship, or I would like it so much if you can treat me with respect and kindness, because I would like to feel important to you. Okay, so that's number two. Number one and number two, very close to each other. Don't look bulletproof and stop looking okay. Just start being real. All right, so what's number three? Let me see. Okay, so I made notes tonight. Stop being responsible for absolutely everything. It works two ways. Somebody's upset, and I make myself responsible for that. I have to go fix it. I have to behave differently so that person can't be upset. I have to go over and smooth him over and fluff him up and tippy-toe around him because I have made myself responsible for everybody else's happiness. Or I have to be the one who fixes relationship, who fixes friendship, who fixes all your problems, who works harder and harder when this job is not going in a good way. I have to work harder and harder and harder at everything. There's just nothing wrong with work hard at something, fix your problems. It's a problem when there's not somebody else on the other side doing their 50%. If you're the one, and you're the only one wanting to fix mistakes, you're not in your own zone of control and power. You can only control your part. If your part is doing too much, because that's where you feel valuable, that's where you know somebody's going to like me if I do too much, and it doesn't play out like that in our heads. It's like, it's my job to fix everything. I am responsible for everybody else's happiness. I have to make sure everything is going smooth. I have to do all of this because I'm the one who knows how to do it, and I'm the one who likes how I do it, and therefore I'm just taking all this responsibility on me. When somebody has got good self-esteem, you do a different thing. You do a complete opposite. You ask for help. You honestly say if something is just too hard for you or too different or just not suit you or not your line of business or just not good enough for you. You can say any and all of those things. And you don't try and look perfect or that something is too hard or you have a problem that you have to ask for help. So that's the one side of taking all this responsibility on you. The second thing is to allow other people to be their own adults, to allow them to do what they're supposed to do. If they don't, the consequences are theirs. To allow them to make their own mistakes. If they do, the consequences are theirs. Because you cannot be that much in somebody else's business. Which brings me to the next point, which is being in your own business. Now, somebody with self-esteem don't scan people all the time. You let people do whatever it is that they're doing. You are not worried about their reactions. You are not checking if they find you acceptable. It's just a perception from your side anyways. And if you are geared to think nobody's going to find me acceptable, you're going to be judging yourself so harshly that you're going to have extra judgment on yourself just from scanning without any real proof. And seriously, everybody's scanning everybody else. So let everybody else in their own business. They're not scanning you to check how terrible you are. They are scanning you to see if they measure up, if they are acceptable to you. Leave them alone. That's their journey. You focus on you. You focus on liking yourself. You focus on deciding that you're acceptable. You focus on fixing your own problems. You're fixing reactivity. You are fixing how you speak to others. You are learning how to be respectful to yourself and to other people. If you work on yourself and you become the best human being that you can be, nobody else's opinion is important. And this doesn't mean you were not born acceptable. It just means that we walk around and we've got bad habits, and we need to start identifying them and leaving behind and put in the place of them healthy habits. And when we put those healthy habits in the place of it, we will automatically start behaving in a way which is respectful to other people, which means we can stop checking if we are acceptable. But just because we turn into adults who are focusing on our part in remaining an adult, not our part in doing everybody else's work, my part of me remaining an adult and me being respectful to myself, which will then have an effect, but I will be respectful to everybody else. Just that is enough, because you don't need to scan and see how you are affecting everybody else if you are acting in a way that's respecting to yourself and to other people. Okay, so big difference between wanting to fix them, tiptoeing around them, and just watching your own reactions, overreactions, changing them into healthy responses, and then responding from a place of respect for yourself and the other person. Okay, so I'm quite sure I've missed some things here, or there's some stuff that needs more explanation, but I know we can depend on Paul to tell me. Okay, but that was too low. Last week I sat on a teddy bear, but I didn't share that traumatic experience with any of you. I was just very quietly sitting on the poor teddy bear, but he's still fine. He's sitting in the corner. He survived this. This week I'm trying pillows, and pillows are not working. So I'm going to spare the teddy bear the indignity of me sitting on him tonight. I'll just peek over the laptop. See if I can see. Okay, let's add Paul to the stream here. Okay, and then I'm going to go see if there's anybody on Facebook. All right, Paul, what did I miss? What do you want to add in? No, Paul, you are muted.
Sorry.
Okay.
I've listened intently to what you've said, and I've been making notes, and it's all good stuff. I can't participate anymore though, because we have to go out.
Okay. Fun.
Yeah. So I'm going to say goodbye to
2
you.
minute insight about what happens if your self-esteem is good. 2 minute insight.
Sorry? Okay. 2 minute insight on
what happens if your self-esteem is good? What's the difference between before and now?
Well, if your self-esteem is good, then you're really living your life. You really are vibrant, and you are in the moment, and you are vital, and you are exploring, and you're adventurous, and life becomes an adventure, and you're not giving up your power to tapes that are playing in your head. You're not living up to anybody else's expectations, especially people who are dead, like your father or your mother. You basically somehow claim your own life, and you become a unique human being, and you can become interesting to yourself and interesting to others. And the more you become like grounded in your own person, then the more freedom you actually give to others to be themselves, and the whole thing can actually travel.
Yeah, so you're saying you become real.
Right. Yeah, you become real.
Okay.
And become unique.
Thanks for your contribution. Yeah. I'm very happy you were here, because it always helps to hear things from two perspectives. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening out, and thanks, Paul. Joy.
Okay, thank you. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hi, Miranda. I don't know if you're still there. So say hi if you're still there. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Alex. Nice to see you. Okay. Hi, Linda. You can hear me now, Okay. Any questions from any of you? It's quite nice to have Paul in here, because he talks a lot. Hey? No, I can't sit. Okay, so I have to hide this, and then I can sit. Oh, hi Miranda, nice to see you still here. Okay, any questions from anybody? You can make a comment. I'm on it now. Right, let me see. Right, so what Paul's done just now has just been to describe emotional freedom, and emotional freedom happens when you can just be yourself and you stop worrying about what other people think about you, when it becomes their business, what they think about you, and what they think about you stops interesting you, and you just really focus on being your own best self. Okay, so what I do want to say is that if you guys don't have questions, or if you want to have questions for after the session, then what you have to do is you've got to go click on the StreamYard link, go into StreamYard itself. If you go to StreamYard itself, then when we end the broadcast, then we will continue to chat afterwards. It's wonderful because we have cameras off and we just speak about everything that's in our hearts, and any problems that you have, we're solving real time, and everybody else learns from what you are learning from. So anybody wants to join me, click on that link. It is on the Facebook description, so you can go and join from there, or it's in your email that you received this afternoon, today, depending on where in the world you are. Okay, so self-esteem. Now I'm going to go back to the book. Okay, I'm just going to spend a few minutes with the book, and this is in the book. There's the four. Okay, there's the four agreements that we make with ourselves. The four self-esteem commitments, and so the very first thing that I want you to start doing for yourself as of today is to just never ever self-bash again. So self-bashing is the thing we do the most, but non-stop, absolutely without end. If we have a self-bashing habit, it's not something that shows up once every 10 years. It is something that we do all the time. And if you put your focus to stop the self-bashing and start into yourself in an encouraging, loving, and supportive way, that alone makes an enormous difference to the quality of your life, how you see yourself and how you project yourself to others, because people treat us the way that we see ourselves. Now, if you're going to walk around the whole time and call yourself a dumb ass or lazy or stupid or crazy or whatever it is that you're calling yourself, and it might be a whole collection of these lovely terms, then guess what? That is the image you're going to project to the world. And so start calling yourself much better terms. It's okay, you'll get it. Talk to yourself, you know what, today was just a tough day. You do better when you know better, which is my all-time favorite. Thank you, Maya Angelou. Just start talking to yourself like you are a much loved and respected friend who you want to keep in your life, not somebody you want to abuse and get rid of. So, self-bashing, stop that. And then the second thing which ties into this one is people do see you the way that you see yourself. So do this exercise, take a piece of paper and go write down how you truly and honestly, no filters, nobody's watching over your shoulder, you're doing this for you. Go write down how you really, really see yourself. Do a nice long little piece of how you see yourself. Get to 10 pages, stop. It's not necessary, you just need like a half page or so. You will get the most important stuff in there. And then you look at this person that you are describing there, and you ask yourself, do you want somebody else to think this of you? Because that is what you are creating in your life. You're going to be treated as if you are that person. So you have to decide to start putting something else in the place of it. If you have decided that you have to be like other people in order to be acceptable, you have to do a full 180 degrees, 360 degrees turn, and you have to, Matt left me there for a minute, you have to say, I was born acceptable like everybody else. And from today, I will act as if I am acceptable. I will walk into that meeting with confidence. I will act as if everybody wants me, because I've been projecting the other side. And that is why I have been excluded and felt excluded. So now I'm going to act as if I'm wanted. And I am going to drop this enormous baggage that I'm carrying with me. I'm going to start acting as if people are excited to see me. And I've got to figure out, how do I do that? Now, this was one of my major things. I wouldn't even go into the tea room. And I forced myself. And I forced myself to start talking to the person next to me. Although I was scared to death to talk to the person next to me. So, and yes, this is true. And it really is the truth. That's where I'm coming from. And that's how hard I've worked on my self-esteem. And that is how much I've changed. But I don't care about stuff like that anymore. And that I am so loved and supported and surrounded by the most amazing people. And that I can walk away from bad situations and I want more for myself. Okay, so that's wonderful. Now, remember, go and write down the opposite, how you want people to see you. And then, if you have to fake it until you make it, that's fine. But start to act as if you are already that person. Likeable, acceptable, respected. And start acting like that person. Act your way out of the limiting beliefs in your head. And very soon, your belief system will catch up. 6 weeks of acting like that, and you will already have moved an enormous amount. So that's the first two. And then the next two. I can't remember anything in it. Okay, so the next job is this. Write out your list of your good points. If it's this short, you walk around and you go and talk to all your friends, the ones who like you, hopefully. You go and talk to, and you're going to actually find a long list of people who are seeing your good points. And you're going to go and say, what do you think my best points are? I used to have to do PR stuff for magazines and newspapers for my artwork. And my friend Leslie, who's a PR superhero, used to say to me, Louise, you are too modest. And then I would go and sit down and then I would write a story and in my head I would say, what would Leslie write about me? Because Leslie would write fantastic stuff about me. I just wanted to die if I had to write it. And so I started acting as if I am the superhero that Leslie always describes. And it became easier. Pretty me now at a nice PR piece, eh? But I started acting like somebody else. I started using somebody else's healthier example. So thank you for that, Leslie. It helped me to see myself through somebody else's eyes and then move into that position until it fitted nicely. So anybody can use that trick. Your good points list, start writing it and make it longer and longer and longer. You have a lot of positive things. And if you don't notice them, start asking for help. They are there. And then you want to add to that list. It's not a one-time done list. You just want to keep on adding to it. All right, and the last one. Okay, positive affirmations. I'll keep on going on and on and on about them. They are the most it's extremely beneficial and it is so easy to apply. It is something that anybody can do any time of the day. So it's the most accessible tool that all of us have. You don't need any special skills. You don't actually even have to believe in them. You don't have to like them. You don't have to do anything except say them out loud for 6 weeks. And it's just like this. You get into warrior pose, just like this. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. Warrior pose, arms back, superwoman cape on, or whatever it is that you are, whatever superpower you're channeling. Get into that stance, legs wide, shoulders back, toss your cape, flick your tail, do whatever you have to, put on your crown, and then you look at yourself in the mirror. No matter how hard it is, look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I'm enough. I am enough. I am enough. You say it with conviction. You don't have to believe it. You don't. You can shake the first time. You may not want to say it. It may feel unnatural to you. Push past all of it. Keep on saying it. The first time is the hardest. If you don't do this, you don't want this hard enough. It's easy to do. Your frontal lobes have no choice but to do the logical thing. It's your amygdala that is not believing this and not wanting to do it. It's your child part that doesn't want to do it, that doesn't want to believe it. But once you start saying it out loud, you change your own narrative, you change your own belief system, and you switch off that damn amygdala, that one who's making you look at yourself through 7-year-old eyes that tells you you're not acceptable, you're not as good as anybody else, you're not wanted, you're not lovable. It's rubbish. That's a 7-year-old putting judgment on you. And you fix that in this easy way. Affirmations. Affirmation is short, it is positive, you say it out loud, you do it as many times as you can, you make it your logo, you make it your mantra, you put it everywhere, you start living it eventually. But start by saying it, you don't have to believe it. 6 weeks, and that amygdala have now changed, and your amygdala starts believing it. Okay, so that's a long way. The long way. The short way is hypnosis, EFT, and brain training. For some reason, I've forgotten about it. I recently found my link to brain harmonics. Now, that's brain training. So what I've done is, in the group chat, there is a quiz about self-esteem, and you can go and do a test drive for me, please. And you can go and complete the form, the questions, and be honest, and then you will get a result, and you'll start getting emails. And in the emails, I'm talking way more about self-esteem. Lots of things you didn't know, some nice resources, and also what to do. And so if you have got the funds and you want to fix yourself in a very fast way, then just let me know, and I will let you know about brain harmonics, which is a brain-changing, very non-invasive way of doing it. If you're in huge post-traumatic stress or anything like that, you can actually get out of it very fast. It's neuropsychology, and they hook you up to things, and they teach you through games how to get out of it. So, and it works for a lot of different things. So it works for post-traumatic stress disorder, ADHD, any limiting beliefs, huge trauma. So it fixes a lot of things in a very short space of time, as effective as hypnosis, and just not cheap. But it is, if you have a funds and you have a big trauma, you want to get rid of it, that's a great way of doing it. For everybody else, I managed to get here in a place where I love and respect myself, where I am treating myself so much better than I ever did. And I did it the hard way. Affirmations, being different, cutting out the stuff that was holding me back. Okay, so I'm going to check if there's anybody any more comments. You see? Okay, all right. Hello, Miranda. Right. Yeah, Alex, that was a great thing that Paul said there, trying to conform to somebody else's expectations, and they are dead. I'm behind the banner. Okay, let me remove this so I can sit again. Okay, so it's a great thing. If you, in the road less traveled, it is what he says, what F. Scott Peck says, is examine every single belief and check if it's true. And check whose belief it is that you are holding on to. If you are holding on to your mother's belief that you can't wear a polka dot dress, or you have to not do art or ballet or whatever, when you are holding on to somebody else's belief system for whatever reasons they have. And that whole thing about become real and get to know yourself and be you. That is part of the whole thing, is go examine whose belief systems are in your head. And if it is your parents, then they have no space in you anymore, because check your ID. You're an adult. You're supposed to make your own decisions, form your own opinions, live your own life, have your own consequences. You want to go do ballet, and do ballet. If you're not allowed to do ballet when you were small and you want to do ballet, go and do ballet. It's not going to hurt anybody, and you may love it, you may not love it, so what? So, and you can apply that standard to literally every single thing in your life, because when we start doing this process, we become the person we were always supposed to be. You were always supposed to be a rock star. You were always supposed to be Catwoman. You were always supposed to be you. You were always supposed to be the real you. And nothing else, nothing less. And when we start doing the self-esteem work and all this other work that we've been going through in the book, leaving our hurts behind and putting healthy understanding and outlooks in place, and this crucial self-esteem work, when we start doing this, we shed the layers, we shed one more layer, we add in our own magnificence, and we start to enjoy it, and we start to show it. And then we become more. And when we become more, we have more to give everybody else than ever before. And we're not doing it from a place of being obliged. We're doing it from a place of I have it and I can give it. So I'm going to just check if there's any more comments here. Okay, so just love it when you guys are here and you're making and talking and leaving comments. Okay, anybody for anything else here? Otherwise, if any of you have questions, and you've got to just come and join the stream now, I'll hang on for about 3 or 4 minutes to see if there's anybody joining. And so if you have questions, you can come and talk. And otherwise, next week we are going to talk about internal self-esteem. This is external self-esteem, which is about all the stuff that you do, not about who you are. And I'll have some tips for you, and we can make a big switch there. Right, so just go back to this. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. Just keep the right stuff on here. I can play that little song at the end. Okay, so thank you everybody for being here. Anybody who comes afterwards into the stream, just leave your comments. I will come back. Tag me if you leave comments. It helps a lot. Facebook is slow. It will only show it tomorrow. I don't do anything in real time anymore. So tag me and then I'll come back and I will report on it. I don't sit on Facebook anymore. I usually just like it currently, and I hang around a lot on Instagram. But this is our tool that we're using because it is accessible for groups. So thank you all for being here. I hope to see you next week, and I'm hanging around here to see if anybody wants to join me and have some questions. Much love to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and go say your affirmations. You are enough, indeed.